All right. So we have written a simple Spring Boot application, which will be when I hit the URL, I will get just a link. When I go to the link, it is going to navigate to the other pages. A simple application we wrote, nothing major, nothing major logic in it. We have implemented the AOPs and filters. See here the execution time. These are all AOPs, and the filter is also happening. So all these uh, are all set up. The basic application is set up. So from here, where does it go? It goes into here. So from here, when I hit the Spring Web Application run, it will go and the controllers will be initialized. So these controllers will be initialized. So these are the URLs which we are hitting in the page. So when I hit welcome, the name I am adding, and I pass on to the welcome page. Let me go to the JSP page here. SRC main web app webinf JSP welcome page.jsp. So I just want to see if we are printing any values. No, we don't print any values here. Let me try to print this. Yeah, we saw the REST API also. So let me try to print this name. I'll see if it is printing. I should give dollar. Okay, that is Angular syntax. Dollar and angle, I mean flower bracket and name. For that, I need to have this name in the request attribute. Okay, so welcome name equal to RS. Let us see. Welcome and no, it is not working. There's something else I have to do. Okay, I'll come back to this later. So when I hit a welcome URL, it is going to a page. Um, Let me start the task manager to see the memory. Okay, when I hit the welcome, it goes to it comes here and it is redirecting to this page. Before that, it is calling the DB rules method. The interface DB rules. We saw like we have multiple implementation of this DB rule, which is Oracle DB rule and Microsoft DB rule. So to which DB rule will it go? Depends on the okay. Here this DB rule when we are configuring, we'll give a qualifier. So depends on this qualifier. Now it is going to Microsoft DB rule. Now Oracle and Microsoft, I want to create one more file, which is MySQL DB rule, because I want to connect to MySQL. So this is going to implements what is the interface interface DB rule, interface DB rules. So naturally I need to implement the methods in the interface. Okay, I'll give here I can write the logic for the DB connection. So what I will do from here, let me just finish this. So this at component with a qualifier I'll give as my SQL, and this qualifier I will be giving in the wiring. So now the DB rules will be going to MySQL DB rules. Let me confirm if it is coming or not. Even oh my god, it is spiking because I am recording it here. Okay, if the system crashes, I will restart. Um, Okay, let us see. So I give this, I go and hit this URL. Nothing changes, but here I should be getting the sysout as uh, execution time for Microsoft DB because I didn't restart the server. Okay, so it is started. I hit this URL. The page is loaded. If we see here, yeah, here it is. It is going to MySQL rule method name. So the control is going there. That we are sure now. So from here, I need to go into service. That's the okay. It is already in the service. Okay, from here I need to go into DAO. So here I have the Mats class DAO implementation. I'll go into DAO implementation. I'll write a method as public void get data from DB. So this is a simple method with void return type. I just want the control to come here. So from the MySQL DB rule, I will be injecting this IDAO. So I'll be giving the IDAO. DAO object, and I have to give here auto wire. So here IDAO object dot, what is the method name? Get data from DB. So I have to go into the interface and provide that method get data from DB. So this is going to be a void method, public void. Public void. Okay, so this we are good. And here I can do the override. So these are all we covered. We covered this in like first 10 to 15 classes. So from here, IDO dot get data from database. Super. So I call this. I will shut down, restart the server. Okay, so it has started. I'll go here. The control should go into DOIMPL get data from DB. So the controls are going perfectly into the methods we have ensured now. Now I will write the code for fetching the data from the database. So as I showed yesterday, let me see if I can send that file here. I will paste that code here. Okay, so I am sending that code. Yes. Okay, I got that code. So, okay, so I'm pasting that the code which we got the other day, java.sql.connection. Everything is good. So we have a get connection method, and we wrote a method to fetch data from the database. I'll use the fetch values using prepared statement. The second method which we wrote. Hmm. Okay, so inside this get data from DAO, okay, get data from the DB. I am pasting the this method. Okay, here it is. So I need a connection object for this method. I have this. These are all okay. Now to get the connection, I'll call this connection. Get connection. So I need to assign a connection. Connection object equal to this much. Now importing the prepared stellar. Okay, good. So everything is done. I can remove this, or I will just retain this column just to ensure that the output is coming. Okay, what is the error? Throws. I'll do a surround with try catch. I'll do a try here. So we went through the exceptions also in the earlier videos. So almost every concept we have covered. So if you have any questions, you please can visit that video, go through it once. Then still, if you have some question, you can ask me, because every video I have gone through very detailed. Every single word I have gone in a very detailed ways for a beginner to understand it. So in case you have a question, even after like listening to the videos, please let me know. All right. Now this is done, and I'll restart this server. If I hit this, okay, great. I got an error. What is the error? Class not found. So com MySQL JDBC driver. Why? Because we have not given the jars here. In this project, how do we give a jar? In form.xml. So we give the jar in form.xml. We have to give the com MySQL JDBC driver Maven dependency. So Maven dependency we saw in the first class. So Maven repository for com. So MySQL connector. And the latest jar is in May 2021. Okay, I'll use it. If I go inside, I'll get this section. So it is selling copied to clipboard. I just have to come to the pom.xml under dependency section. I have to I will paste this. As soon as I paste, the jars will start downloading. Bottom right side you can see, and the building will start. The workspace will start building. Let me close the Chrome. See, after I close the Chrome, the memory came down. Slow. Anyways. Okay, so after it is okay, still it is building. Building 95%. So there's no new concept which we are learning today. What we are doing today is integration of all the pieces which we learned all these days. So core Java, advanced Java, the Spring Boot, and the JSPs, JDBC connection. So all the concepts, and we have studied every single program individually, hands-on in all the sessions. We are just integrating it. Okay, so this is done. Now I can restart the server. Okay, this restarted. If I go localhost 8080 and welcome the driver class, or the same error we got the other day, and starting a transaction, the connection is got successfully, and execution time, so everything is good. We just need to see the result now. Are we printing the result? I am printing it somewhere. Result set, till result set it is there. Let me see. Connection is printed, and result set. While result set, there is a sys out. I don't get the sys out. Let me see whether the query is still returning a record or not. What is the condition? The Sunday and address 1. Okay, so we don't have an address 1 in Sunday. I will comment this section, and I will remove the and here, so we'll have only one condition in the query. So I'll go restart the server. If I go and hit again, okay, we got it here. So yesterday we saw that in the main program it was working fine. Now we have integrated this in the Spring Boot, and the data has come up. So now the data has come up in the DAO, result set, we are iterating. Any questions so far? Hello, are you guys there? Any questions?
No, Rajesh, it's good.
I'm good, Rajesh. Rajesh, and one more thing here, that JDBC connections, what we learn is, do you have any in-depth ingoing, or it's little bit enough for the interview purpose?
JDBC, I went in depth.
Okay.
I think you were not there that day. I went in depth on JDBC connection. How a request receives, how a request is received in the server, how the port is opened.
Oh,
how,
yeah, just I went to that video.
yeah, that is it.
Rajesh.
That is enough. That is in depth.
Okay. Okay.
But we will not be using this type like next week. For today or for this week, I am teaching this way. Next week we will be migrating into Hibernate. But JDBC connection, only this much is there. Whatever I have taught in these like 4 videos, those are sufficient. Those are more than sufficient. You will get a
Rajesh, we are going to migrate to Hibernate means just we are going to learn about Hibernate, or just the data what we have, we are going to migrate to Hibernate?
No, we will learn about Hibernate. I will teach about Hibernate basics, how to configure Hibernate, then how to connect using Hibernate and get the data. We will go through that.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have got this. What we will do is, let's do some core Java now. So what is the table we are printing? It is a user table and address table. Correct? The query is select start from user, left join address on u.user id equal to a.user id, where condition is there. So this is bringing 2 tables, user table and address table. Let me go here. I'll go to domain folder. We don't have a domain. I'll create a package, new package as com.rajesh.domain. Domain, finish it. So here I will create 2 classes. This is very important for Hibernate. Next week we will be reusing these classes. That time I may not go in depth on these classes. So we have 2 tables. The 2 tables are T001 underscore user. That is the first table. This table, how many attributes are there? We have the user underscore ID. We have the user name. So private int user underscore ID. Private string username. Private boolean is active. We have 3 attributes, and source, generate, getters and setters. So this is called a POJO. We saw in class 1 that any simple class with just an attribute is called a POJO. Okay, this is straightforward. We will create one more class as T00. Just watch it very carefully, because after this there is a trick coming up. So T002 address, that is the address table, and address table is going to have address ID private address ID, which is an int, and private string address, and then it has a foreign key reference, private user ID fk, which is of type int. Which is source, generate, getters and setters. Select all, generate. So far it's straightforward. So what we will do is, once we got the result set, what are the values? User ID, username, is active, address. So here I will create one object of user. So T001 user object equal to new T001 user object. This is an exception, because I said that if you see a new keyword in Spring Boot, it is not a Spring Boot, but this is one exception. Every rule will have one exception. So this is an exception because we are just creating a Pojo. For Pojo, that rule does not apply. That applies to beams, which is having a functionality. This is just a Pojo without any functionality. It is having only attributes. So inside the user object, I can set the user ID. Set user ID, whatever user ID I retrieved from the database. Okay, why it is not? Because it is a string. I have to convert to integer. How will I convert? Integer dot parseInt, core Java. Integer dot parseInt of result set. Integer dot parse int. Integer dot parseInt of result set dot get string. We convert string to integer. So now in the user domain, user Pojo, I have set the user ID. In the user Pojo, I set the user name. Where is the username? Here it is. And anything else is there is active. So user obj dot, there is no set is active. It will be of different name. Dot user obj dot, it will be is active because it is a boolean. So set is active, but to retrieve it is not get, it is active. For boolean data type, it is of this way. So is active. Again, this will throw an error. Here we have to give as a boolean. How will the output come? The output comes as 1 and 0. So we have to write a, first time I am showing you a ternary operator. So if result dot get string equal to 1, then return true, else return false. In single statement we can finish the if else. The equivalent code for this is, if that result set dot get string of 3 equal to 1, if the result set is coming as 1, then return true, else return false. So this statement is replaced as one single line. as if the result set is having 1, then make this value as true, else make this value as false. So far we have formed the user object. The same way we have to form the address object. T002 address object equal to new T002 address object dot set address ID. Are we fetching the address ID? Yes. So address ID, same error, we have to convert using a wrapper class and address object dot set address. We have the address field and address object dot set user ID FK, the foreign key. So far good. Just we have to convert this as integer, this as integer. How do we do? Integer dot parse int of. Okay, address ID. Set address ID. Okay, errors are gone now. So we have the user object and the address object formed. Now I said that in user object we have these fields. These are straightforward. In the address object we have the user ID. Actually we should not be doing this way. Instead of keeping user ID, I'll not delete this. Instead of keeping user ID, we can keep the entire user object here. T00 private. This is the base for Hibernate. I said when we were dealing with DB as 1 to many and many to 1. You had remember user object. I'll keep it this way. I'll create a getters and setters. And setters. So
Rajesh, here
yes.
Hibernate it's mainly the functional is just for mapping the things from
mapping tables with the Java file. We need not write query. When Hibernate comes, we will not write query.
Okay.
But the basics of Hibernate is instead of when you see a foreign key, we will not give as an integer. Like this. Instead, we will give the respective table itself here. What is this? This is a foreign key of user table. So instead of keeping it like this, we give the user object itself here. That is the basics. I can comment this. So here it is going to throw an error. So instead of setting the user ID, I can set the user object which I formed in the previous step. Address obj.set T00. Set user object. What is the user object? We have this. We formed this user object here. This user object itself I will set into the address object.
Okay, that user object is setted with the foreign key here.
Yes, the user object has its primary key.
Okay.
If you see the query result, the primary key of user table, this column, and the FK user ID will be same,
Okay.
because this is the primary key of user table. The same is the foreign key in the address table. So always the query result will give same value. These two columns, you see here 1 and 1, always the primary key of only then it can be a foreign key, right? If the primary key of the address table and the foreign key of the, primary key of the user table and the foreign key of the address table are equal, only then we call it as a foreign key.
Okay.
So here, instead of setting the ID, we set the entire object. This object is going to contain the primary key ID.
Okay. Anyhow, the same.
It is same. We are
okay.
just using the object oriented concept here. Instead of the individual data type of integer, we are dealing with objects now. So address object will have its own attribute, address ID and address name, and user object. User
Okay.
object will have its own details. We are dealing in objects now. So when I am forming this, I will create a list here, list of address, the code Java. Address list equal to new array list of address, java.util.list. So in the for loop, in the iteration, after forming the address object, I will add this address object inside the loop. Add, indirectly I am adding the user object within each of the address. If I add just address object, what is the issue? Method is not applicable for the argument. Okay, I should go here T002 address. It is not list of address, list of T002 address. Maybe address is something else. Okay, it is Tomcat address, the port address. Okay, we don't want that. So inside the loop, I formed the user object first, which is in the iteration. After forming the user object, I form the address object. I set the user object inside the address object. I am adding the address object to a list. And I will be returning this list. So my return type changes now from void to list of T002 address, which means here I have to do a return address list. So if I change here, then I have to, what is the problem? Return, okay, I have to change in the interface. Interface says it should be void. So if I change the interface, the implementation also will be okay. Now the service. Where is the service? Okay, here is the service. Here I should be getting back that address list. Address list equal to this. Now I have to return the same address list to the controller. One second, my kid has come. Okay, so I am returning back the same address list here. Whatever I am getting from the DAO, I am changing it here, which means the service rules also I have to change. Interface DB rule. If I change here, what happened? I have to return here. Return address list Here also it is throwing error because everywhere it has to return. This is the advantage of list which I was telling. These are all different providers. So when the contract changed, all the providers are forced to change their method. When when the contractor said that you cannot return void, you have to return list of T002 address. Everyone are now changing the methods and returning back. So okay, from the service I am returning back. This is done. DAO is written done. It comes to the controller. It comes to the welcome here. So here I have to receive that address list, and here I can let me see if I am getting that value. I'll give a for loop for the syntax I said, which is core Java T002. Now you understand, right, how the core Java and advanced Java is getting mixed up. Address OBJ. So you should not read those as a separate thing. Both are, everything is interlinked. Even DB, JSP, everything is interlinked. I give a sys out. I give an address object. Now in core Java, we saw that to print all these values without giving a sys out, there is a method. Do you remember? Anyone remember?
To print all the value.
Yes. We saw that there is a toString method. The only problem with this training, right? Usually I make everyone do hands-on. So at least some concepts they will understand. Now that is the only thing which is missing. Because when you see, you will definitely forget. When you do once, you will never forget. Anyways, at least let's see. Hopefully this helps you somewhere. So we have this address. Now we have this user object, right? If I print the user object here, I want the user detail also to be printed automatically, which means I have to go to the user object, and I should not give a sys out. I should give a return. Okay. So if I want to print the user object, I have to go to the user domain and give a toString there also. I have to go user domain here, and I'll go toString. Instead of return super, I will return user ID. What is the user ID? User underscore ID plus username plus username plus is active plus is active. Okay, that's all. Now we have given the toString method in the welcome. Once I receive, I'm just printing the object. This will take care of printing all the values which are needed for. So I just call the method. There it is. Here. See, beautifully it has printed. Address 1, 20, 19th Street. That is where it is there in the DB. 1 Sunday is and false. The one address, second address, so one user, one second address. So beautifully it has come. So this is working fine. All we need to do now is send it to JSP and show it in the user in this page here. That's all. If you display it there, one hit of DB from the UI back to the UI is done, which I was telling in day 1. For this purpose only we were going through all these concepts: core Java, for loop, those private, public, the access modifiers, interface, implementation, Spring Boot, the filters, everything works together now in a neat way, in a super way, they work together, they fetch the data, everyone does its own job nicely, and we are getting a output now. So I'll go through any questions so far. I'll go through the whatever we did today. With that, we'll pause for today. Tomorrow we'll see how to display the data. So what we did today, the first thing is we created this last, but this is the starting point. We created 2 domains, user and address. This should be exactly equal to the table. The only difference is in the address, wherever we see a foreign key, we created the user object instead of the integer. Usually the foreign key is an integer, it should have been created as an integer, but we created as a user. So once these 2 objects are done, from the controller, we are calling the service. From the service, we are calling the DAO. In the DAO, we gave this get connection method as static connection method. Here we are calling we are using the JDBC here and getting the connection and returning to this method in the DAO itself. In the DAO, we call using the connection object, we trigger the query. This as a standalone, we saw how it works. Exact code I copied and I pasted, it is working fine here. Once I get back the prepared statement output, I iterate it. I form this object, user object and the address object, setting the data where whatever is needed in that particular object, I set it. I add it to a list. So I create a list. List is an interface. Array list is an implementation. So I create an array list of list and I add it to the list and I return back. In the controller, I return back that list and I am just iterating this list in the controller and printing it. In the address or in the address pojo and the user pojo, I do a toString method where I am printing the values. So here I iterate and print it in the controller. Tomorrow we will pass it to the JSP. We will iterate in the JSP and print the same value. Any questions from today's class? Okay, if no questions,
I'm good, Rajesh.
okay, good. So if no questions, we can pause for today. But you can if you have been following from day 1, you can visualize how we have progressed from nowhere, just a main program with sysout. Slowly we have built one step at a time, and we have finally achieved one full flow. I mean, tomorrow we'll achieve it, but today we are near. We have come to the controller where a simple Java program is able to now connect to a database and bring a data and print it in the controller. Correct? And this is achieved using Spring and Spring Boot, not using servlets. The same thing will work in servlet. We just have to cut the DAO code and paste it inside the servlet. It will work. So for those who have not those who have missed in the middle, please continue watching the videos. Every concept I've covered in detail, hands-on. That's only beauty. I've covered everything hands-on. There's no theory part. you can practice it when you have some time, and just let me know before the session over. If you can let me know, I'll be happy to help you out. So by the time the session over, if you can understand at least like 50% of the concept, it will be great. If no questions, then we'll pause for today and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Hello.
Okay, yeah. No
Yeah.
worries.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Rajesh. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.